Welcome to the Football Historian Podcast.
By all means, enjoy it.
He will go right to the very top.
Dos, tres, cuatro times.
Here we go, Germans.
I will turn these results round.
All right, that's good manners.
There's animosity, but there's no fight.
If you can't beat them, join them.
How do you make me feel sick if I look at you?
No, I want to fight here.
Don't drink, don't sleep with women, don't drive fast cars.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit too!
Hello, welcome to the Football Historian Podcast. This is the first episode where we've had correspondence before. Anyone who watched the last ones, first of all, my knees are a bit better, so it's not as horrible to look at after the Alan Tong episode. But we are back with healthy knees and our first question. This one comes from James, and he just says, who is your dream guest on the podcast? Firstly, thank you very much for the question. It's a tough one, but I'm going to say a name that people might not expect, which is Emile Heskey. He's someone who, as a kid, I loved him so much. He was my hero growing up. Obviously, I'd love to have been maybe given away what team I support here, but I'd love to have Steven Gerrard, Jurgen Klopp. But I just think Emile Heskey, mainly because when we had our initial WhatsApp video call with all the lads for this, I put a picture of Emile Heskey up. My mate Tom, who you may have seen if you've watched the quiz, he won an Emile Heskey sticker, which he gave to me recently, which is on display at the back of the room. I've also got an Emile Heskey figurine, which is hidden up there behind Jan Molby, if anyone can ever zoom in and see it. He's definitely the dream person. I don't think he'd realise how much I would enjoy having Emile Heskey here. And I don't mean to brag, I've got his number. It's doable. I reckon we can make this happen. So if you all tag Emile Heskey every time you see any clip of this, we can make this happen. We can get Emile on one of these chairs right here. But thank you so much, James, for the question. And I know it sounds corny, but honestly, please just like, subscribe and share, because it makes a massive difference. And if you put the comments in at the bottom, I'll read them all. I'll answer as many as I can. We've also got a Patreon where you can ask questions to our guests. And that brings me on to today's guest, which is Rob Thomas. He's a Scouse comedian. He's quite big in the scene. Obviously, we know Hot Water Comedy Club. You know, we talk about this in the episode. You'll see how much he loves the city and the comedy scene at the moment. He doesn't really talk about football before I've got him on. It's an exclusive scoop on his thoughts on football. I hope you enjoy the episode and that you can see, you don't just have to be a footballer or someone involved in football to have the chat on here. It's a really interesting chat about comedy. And then, of course, we talk about footy at the end. So thanks for sticking around. Enjoy the episodes. Please leave a comment and hopefully I'll be answering your question in the next episode. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Football Historian Podcast. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Rob Thomas. Thank you very much for coming in. How are you? Everything all right?
I'm fine, yeah.
Yeah, good. I just want to start how we got you in today. Is that you went to school with my brother?
Yeah, so I've done this as a favour for your brother, basically. So I don't normally do anything like this football-wise.
Yeah.
I like to leave football separate from work.
Yeah, sorry.
So, yeah, basically, because your Tom asked me. But what had happened, your Tom put a status up, didn't he, a while ago? Did he have a stroke, a mini stroke or something, was it?
Yeah.
So I read that, and the next thing got a message off him. So the same day that I'd read it, he messaged me saying, do you mind doing my brother's podcast? I was like, well, I can't say no now. Like an hour ago, I read your status about how you had a mini stroke, and like, you sound like your Tom at school. And it's like, fuck, all right, I'll have to do it. But normally, like, if anyone ever asks me to do anything like this, I just say no.
Yeah.
Because football's like my escape. So I don't like to mix it with work.
Yeah.
So, like, I just, like, I keep it very separate from comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But whereas now you wrote me in, I probably have to do loads of them now. Now I broke the seal. I'm like, fuck it, one.
Well, we got the first one.
Yeah.
We'll break your seal. That's fine. Well, I wanted to talk about the school you went to.
Right.
Because I went to the same school as well. And
Yeah.
I get the vibe from you. I feel similar. That you're almost a bit ashamed of the fact that you went to a private school. That's how I feel. So I can say that about myself. Do you agree?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Well, it's not I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. I'm ashamed in the sense that, like, no, like, I'm not ashamed in either, like, I'm ashamed that I went to private school. Because, like, at the end of the day, I went because somebody else paid for me to go. It's like my uncle paid for me to go. And so I'm like, I'm not ashamed because I feel like that sort of besmirches him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't, so, but at the same time, do I agree with private schools now? No. Am I all for labour tax in private schools? Yes. Did I enjoy my time there? Not really. Should I have gone there? Probably not, in hindsight. I think from being there, the one thing that I will take from it is when I was in a comprehensive, I was in Holy Family first for the first 2 years. I joined merchants in year 9, or third year as they call it. And I noticed that the environment was different, and that is the one positive I'd say. Like, if you pissed about in Holy Family, everyone I know that was popular in Holy Family or pissed about, I just end up being a dickhead. Like, you see them now and you're like, you're still just a dick. Like, or they've got to 25 and gone, my life's shite, I need to sort my life out. Like, even my mates growing up, like, you all went to comps and that, like, loads of them, 18 to 25, just pissing about and that. Got 25 and went, oh, I need to sort something out because I'm living in my ma's box room. And now I've got a bird who wants me to get a house. And I earn 3 ton a week, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So, like, whereas in merchants, there seemed to be an environment straight away that if you were a dickhead, you were just wasting everyone's time. Like, everyone sort of knew what they were there for. Obviously, the parents had drummed it into them.
Yeah.
So you're wasting everyone's time, which again is a reason why you probably shouldn't have private schools, because then at least them parents would impose that environment on a comprehensive school then. So if you're in Holy Family, they'd at least go, yeah, there'd at least be an idea of, yeah, you're there in school, you're there to benefit yourself, fucking behave, and then maybe that'd encourage more kids to have an environment where we treat school as a privilege rather than just babysitting your kids, because sometimes I think some people just think that's what it's there for.
Yeah, that's well put. I think as well, it's all like the angle you're all to getting good marks and everything's examined.
It's stuff like I would have done coursework if I wasn't in merchants.
Yeah.
So like they locked me in the room. That's literally what happened. So when you're in GCSEs, I'm just a lazy cunt. So once I went home, I didn't do nothing. Unless my parents sat me down and made me do it. And then when you get to 16, your parents are fed up of doing that. So they just stop you doing it. So literally GCSEs, they locked me in a room for a week. They asked my parents' permission.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad said, whatever you need to do, yeah. And after school every day from like, because we finished at 4, from 4 till 6, I was physically locked in the room to do my coursework. Because otherwise I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And that's probably the benefit of going to private school.
Yeah.
Your parents are on board to go do what you fucking want, yeah. Whereas you try to do that in a normal comp, they'd be like, we can't do that. Like, we get sued, the parents are like, fuck him, yeah. Lock the door, don't let him out till he's done it. And that's literally the only way I'd done it. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have done it. I'd have done it on the morning it was due in, and I'd have got fucking shite marks or whatever, and that's what it is. So like, I do see the benefits of it, but the benefits of it are just because everyone's attitude's the same. But we all had that attitude in normal school to be the same.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Well, obviously, we'll go on.
In the working class thing, though, I know what you're getting at. Do I feel shame? Yeah.
Well, yeah, shame's a bad way, but because I feel it's like you don't go up to people and go,
I don't feel like a private school kid.
Yeah, and I partially agree with that as well. Obviously, I don't know, like, you do, my brother, whatever, but
like, have you seen the tweets now where like there's loads of people tweeting now going like, I went to private school, it was all full of working class kids. You're going, stop talking shite. I went to private schools, about 5 working class kids. One, like, I got ripped from my dad being a taxi driver. You all got bussed in from a little village. Why are you all trying to make out now that this tax is going to fucking fuck you up? Like, you lying cunts.
Yeah, well, no, it was, you're definitely in the minority. Obviously, I don't want to speak for everyone in my. I'm not really friends with anyone.
Well, I was shocked. I don't know if you want people to know where we are, but I was shocked when I was driving it. When I was coming here to do the podcast, I was like, I'm sure he went to our school. What's he doing in the podcast?
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, nice one. The garage is all right, though.
Yeah, it's a nice garage, yeah.
Yeah, no,
well, it's an outhouse now.
Well, that's it. Well, I said, you don't walk up to people and go, I went to private school. You feel like a bit guarded saying it. Yeah. But so, obviously, going into comedy then, the start, you come from private school background. I've got here, was it 2010 you started around then, is that right? Or
so November 30th was my first ever gig, so you could say I started in 2010, but it's a weird thing in comedy because it's a bit like doing a degree on apprenticeship. You do like 4 or 5 years of where you're just learning it. So like, would you say you're an electrician when you're in college doing like you call it? No, you wouldn't. So like, you do 3 or 4 years doing it, and then in the next 3 or 4 years, you're sort of trying to go, hey everyone, I'm good now. Can I have some money, please? Yeah. And you spent 3 or 4 years trying to convince people to do it. So yeah, my first ever gig was November 2010. And then I gigged then ever since, sort of thing.
So what was the reaction of the family, friends like when you said I'm going to do comedy? Was it shock or, yeah, you're the funny guy?
I don't know. I can't really remember from my family. I don't know how many people I told. I told like my best mate at the time and he come with me. Basically, I'd said from when I was 14, that's what I wanted to do. So in merchants, like I'd said I want to be a comedian. Like your mates laugh at you and I go, all right, sound, yeah. But like, because I regret not doing it then. I should have just went and done it because I knew at that age that's what I wanted to do. And then it's just pissed about going to uni. Yeah. I was a fresher 3 times. Failed the first year uni 3 times by not doing any work. By going there, no one forced you to do the work, so I didn't do it.
No one's locking
So
you in a room.
no one's locking me in rooms to do it, so I just didn't do it. So like, literally that happened in uni 3 times. So in the end, I was like, come back to Liverpool thinking, what the fuck am I doing? I always knew what I wanted to do. Just go and do it now. I was at 23. So I told my mate and said, I'm going to go to an open mic night and try it. And he went on, he was like, sound, yeah, go for it. He come with me, he's quite supportive. It was interesting. I think it's weird because, like, when you start doing it, people don't understand that, like, you're shit. And you don't understand either.
Yeah.
Like, you start doing it and you get some laughs and you think, oh, this is good, but, like, you're shite. Like, you are terrible. And then people come and see you. And, like, I've got mates now who, like, best mates go on lads' holidays with now. And I talk to them about stand-up. And they saw me after, like, 6 months. And I was terrible, died on my arse. And you can see them in their eyes when I'm talking about, like, stand-up and doing well or anything like that. You can see them thinking, but you're shite. Because that's all they think. They think that one time they saw you at 6 months, you're like, that's what you must just be like. Even 10 years later, 14, you're still shite. Like, you can just see people's eyes. And, like, that's one of the things I try and tell new comedians. Don't invite people to your gigs. Hide it. Hide it as long as you can till you get to a decent level, because people, you'll just lose. Everyone who that you'll want to think you're good will just not give it. Like,
so how long did it take you to go from being terrible to being all right, in your opinion?
It's about 4 or 5 years. It's a bit like, it's like playing footy. Do you know what I mean? Like you know where you are in the year. Like, you know if you're the best in the year, or like, or I'm all right, me. Like, I'm first team on the bench. I'm in the B team. Like, oh, I wish I could play footy, but the lads won't let me play. Like, you know where you sort of are. So, like, you start at the same time as everyone else. One of the hardest things to get your head around is when you start, that's sort of like your class year, even though everyone's a different age. So I was 23. And it could be someone who's 35 starting, and you feel like you're all the same age because you all start at the same time, and you have to sort of remind yourself as you go, oh mate, there's like 8 years between me and him, or I'm 8 years older than the person who started when they were 15, and you sort of comparing each other, and you think, oh, it's not the same. Like someone's calling themselves professional comedian, they're on £100 a week, but they live in the mum to dad's box room because they're 16, and you're like, maybe I need to be professional, and you're like, I can't make a living off £100, like, can't pay my bills. So it's all weird stuff like that. So I reckon it took me about 3 or 4 years to get to a stage of, like, I'm getting to where I want to go.
Yeah.
Even now, I'm still saying, you still, like Americans have it differently. Americans, like, they'd say you're not a comedian until you've been doing it for 10 years. Whereas in England, you're probably 4 or 5. You start with clash as a comedian. You can start, that's probably when you start making money off it, sort of thing. Yeah. So I'd say probably about 4 or 5 years where I was like, right, I can see where I'm going now. I can see where I want to go as a comedian, things like that.
What are nerves like as well? That's why I always think those first ones, it must be terrible. Like, you're on this side of the stage shaking like mad.
Yeah.
We were at
my first gig, my leg, you could literally, my leg was like that the whole, I think 6 minutes it was, the whole time. Yeah. Just constantly. And like, it's like anything, it just gets better over time.
Yeah.
Your nerves now come over, like, if you do something new that you've never done before, or you're in a place and you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure how these are going to take me. Like, the last time I got nervous was maybe I spotted my mate Troy Hawk, who obviously had on this, and we were in Kendal, and I was like, in my head I was thinking to myself, these are going to be dead old, because like the only people that still live in the lakes are like people who've bought houses years ago. Everyone else is like a holiday home or second house, so it's like all the people are going to be here are going to be over 50. And then are they going to like what I'm going to say? They're going to think I'm too filthy. Yeah. Like, I'm going to push it. I was in my head a little bit, and it took me like, it took me a couple of minutes to get going, like on stage, because it's a bit like, right, they are all dead old. Then you get your first couple of laughs and you start going then. But like, yeah, before the gig, I was a bit like in my own head, a bit going, will this work or that work? And just messing with yourself a little bit. But generally, don't get nerves till like 30 seconds we go on stage. Like, you still get a feeling. Yeah. Like, there's still sort of like butterflies, or like, it's like even when you go and play footy now, it's not competitive, you play 5-a-side with your mates, you still get a feeling of like, oh, I'm excited to play, or oh, I'm going to be any good today. Like, you still know when you've been shite and that, and like, so you still get a feeling. You still get, I don't know whether it's nerves though.
Yeah.
Just, but like, It's not anxiety. It's like just a bit butterflies sort of thing. Like
because you love it, don't you? So
We're excited to get on stage, but there is also that trepidation as well, sort of thing. But,
I can imagine. Well, I was just wondering, like, watching stuff back as well. Like, do you watch all your stuff back, or do you watch bits now, or at the start were you watching stuff back? What do you do?
It depends from comedian to comedian. I don't.
Yeah, never. Yeah,
I think so again, Troy, you've had on. He listens and watches everything back. Yeah. And like is like a scientist with it, whereas I think I'm never in the moment on stage, sort of thing. I'm assessing the whole time. So like I'll tell a joke on stage and I'll know that didn't go that well in the back of my head, or it didn't go as well as I expected, and then in my head I'll be looking at why have I done this, sort of thing. So I feel like I'm always doing it. Yeah. I'm always going over my set. I'm always going over my gigs, but I don't physically record everything and listen back. Whereas some comedians say they come off stage, they can't remember anything. Yeah. Like I've got mates who like once they've come off stage, they can't remember anything that happened on that stage. Whereas I remember everything. Like I remember the whole thing, and I play it in my head as I go. So like, where like say some recorder listen everything back because they feel like they need to improve, sort of thing. Whereas I feel like I'm so sort of not critical, but like so sort of self-diagnosing all the time that I feel like if I then this to back as well, I just send myself mad. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about football. Yeah. We'll touch on it more later, but just because you've mentioned a few times Troy Hawk, Milo McCabe. Yeah. He said he's in a WhatsApp group with all the comedians. He's probably the person who likes football the least, and he's the most involved in football.
Yeah, it's annoying.
And like, so when I started doing my writing stuff, the Stephen Doan, his name is, he does the Liverpool Museum at Anfield. Yeah. And he said, don't be too tribal with football. Like if you nail your colours to one mast, you can upset people. And like, I don't think it's obvious I'm a Liverpool fan, but like I've got like an Instagram thing, and then I try and do as many clubs as possible. Yeah. So is that part of the reason why you don't mix it, because you don't want to upset United fans? You know what I mean? You don't want to upset people, or is it just you just want to keep the two worlds separate?
I think it's just me thing. I think it's my escape.
Yeah.
It's like it's so special to me, football, and like it's the not the only bond I had with my dad, but like my dad took me to games. I had that for years, just me and him. That was me time with my dad. That we went in the match, we went in the cup finals, we went in the weight trips. Like that was my thing, and it's so special to me that I feel like when you start mixing it with work, and then you add all that anxiety of like, oh, we'll do this podcast and talk about this or talk about that, or if it goes some Everton fans, it might make me go viral. I think that was ruin football. But like, it's the same like betting. I've had to sort of stop betting a bit. So I bet on every game, but like I've stopped doing corner bets because I realised I was standing in the cop, like hoping for anti-football. Yeah. Like I was like, it's the 85th minute, and I'm screaming at Van Dijk to put it out because I'm 2 corners away from getting me bet in, and I'm like, I'm not enjoying the game here. So when I go to match, I've stopped betting on corners and that, because it's like I wasn't enjoying. Like I was at the game and I'm counting corners in my head and I'm checking my phone. I'm like, I'm not enjoying this experience anymore, or not for what I want it to be. So like I just don't want anything to ruin it, and I'm scared of ruining it, because like I'm really into the NFL. Yeah. Because that's so separate, and I've never really been to a game and stuff. I don't mind doing anything NFL related. Like I'll do podcasts and that about the NFL. I'd happily go on a program and talk NFL all day. But I feel with football, I don't want to ruin it. Yeah. And I'm scared that when it becomes a job, like, there must be a bit of you that's like gone, it's just not the same watching it anymore. Like I can't watch comedy anymore. Yeah. I can watch it, but I don't enjoy it. I don't sit there and like watch a special and go, oh, I really enjoyed that. I sit there and analyse it and go, oh, I'd have gone there with that. I will see what they're trying to do. That's getting set up for later. And you're a bit like, oh, like they're trying something new there. Like that's different from what they normally do. And you're so sort of like ingrained in it. It's like it's ruined. It's not ruined, but you watch it differently. Yeah. And then it's not like you don't enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, I know you were like from the writing side of it. Like the worst bit for me is working on when the matches are on. I hate that more than anything. It's like I go to every home game as a fan, so it's fine. But some away games I have to write on, so if you're doing live tweeting, you're writing off, it goes in, it does ruin it. So worst one I've ever had was Villarreal, second leg, Champions League semi-final. I was just sat there, my dad, my brother, all my mates were out at the pub watching it. I was just there, like, in my living room and there on my own watching it. And I was just like, this is not what you want to do. But I did the Legends game in the press box as well, and then you see like all these famous journalists and that's their experience every week, and I thought then, like, you're not watching the match like I do when I'm
Yeah.
stood in the, like, say, Klopp's last game, stood in the Kop, you're not having the same feeling as I am with your laptop there. And
Yeah.
that's the worst bit of it. But, like, the rest of it, I think it's quite good because Liverpool have been quite successful, so it's nice to, on the day after the game, write about it and
stuff,
done, like, but the worst bit then is when you lose and you spend a week writing about the loss and trying to write a positive spin. But yeah, I understand why you wouldn't want to.
It's the same like tweeting, like you see, like my mate Ro, he tweets all the time about it, and,
yeah.
and it's like I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to like. I just don't want. I'll talk about football to my mates. I don't like. It's not a thing, but to him it's a work thing. Like he's done Red Men TV loads and stuff like that, and like. He sees that as a way of gaining, like selling tickets and stuff. I'm just like, nah, I don't want to ruin football for myself.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can go with the face.
No, it's like that. It's fine.
We'll talk about it a bit.
You know, like it's just like it's so special.
Yeah.
From what it is, and like say, I went with my dad until like my little brother was about 8, and then we got 2 season tickets, and my dad went, tell you what, I'll stop going. You take your little brother now, and now I've had my little brother's 20. I'm 36, so little brother's 26 now. So we've had like 18 years of going together and then going to finals and that, and having that moment with your brother. Like no matter what's going, like our family could be having murder, but me and him go to the game. We just don't talk about it. We're just at the match. It's just having a bit of time together, and it's just special. And like my mates come with us for a few years, and then it was nice having. It's such a like I say, it's for me it's like an escape, or it's something so different from anything else. It's like I feel like I'm an oldie when I'm at footy. I just don't think about nothing else besides from.
No, I like it. I get it, but yeah, making me doubt all my life decisions. But yeah, that's no, that's good. But we'll tell you what, we'll go through a quick break, then we'll come back and talk more about you as a comedian before we talk more footy. So we'll see you in a sec. Welcome back to the next section of the Football Historian podcast.
Sorry, Pete. I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Where'd you get that shirt from?
Oh, this Latio number's just from Classic Football Shirts. Where'd you get yours from?
Thank you. Mine's from Classic Football Shirts as well.
Wow. Well, when I bought my shirt, I used the code TFH10 to get 10% off all orders. Did you use the same?
I did. I used a discount code. I think it was the same as yours.
Oh, TFH10. Oh, that's great, because if you want to get 10% off all your orders, you can use TFH10 at classicfootballshirts.com.
Unbelievable deal.
Welcome back to section 2 of Football Historian Podcast. We're going to talk a bit more about comedy. So I've got here that you were competing at the Laughing Horse New Act of the Year. You're doing.
Have you just Googled me?
Yeah, of course.
This is like my old CV.
Yeah, the Frog and Bucket World Series,
just
Hot Water Comedian of the Year, Hilarity Bites New Comedian. I was just going to say, like, competitions and stuff. How important are they to start you off?
Absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
They mean nothing, and you don't realise. Like, mate, oh my God. Laughing Horse, the one you just mentioned there. I remember I won my heat in the Northwest, went down to London for the semi-final. When I got there was 20 people in the audience. I'm thinking this is amazing because you heard all these big names that have won them before. Yeah. So you think, oh, that must be what set them up. And they were just the best. That's all it was. You're like, yeah, they had to win it because they were the best around. And you think, oh, that's what must set them up. Got to that Laughing Horse one. There was 20 people there. I'd brought fucking 8 of them. 2 acts went through to the final. So one act, who was clearly the best of the night, went through. Then I was definitely just as good. Well, I wouldn't say just as good, but like around him. And I never went through. And the person who went through was the one who was doing the door. And I didn't know he was in the competition. So some lad who's doing the door, like he all of a sudden went through to the final. It's like, fuck off. And you don't realise how everything so you're starting off and everything's like, oh, I need to get far in these things, and like they're all just bullshit. No one remembers. I couldn't tell you who. I beat the Frog. Couldn't tell you who won my year.
Yeah, I
don't even know anyone else who's in the final. I can't remember anyone else in the final. Like it's just something to put on your CV when you're applying for gigs. Like, you know, like when you're first starting out, going, they put me in. I've been to these finals, so I must be all right. It's like. Maybe then the other person applying hasn't been to finals, and you go, all right, I'll go with him. That's all it's good for. But when you're starting out, it's utter dog shit, but you think it's that important.
Yeah.
Like everything's like, oh, I need to win these, I need to go far. And like I say, you get to a level and you're like, half the people who won them aren't even doing comedy anymore. It was all bullshit.
Did you win any?
No.
So there's no trophy.
Didn't win a single thing. That's probably why I'm bitter, yeah. No, I don't think I want to see a thing. I think I got the finals of loads and just always the bridesmaid, but no, it just fucking didn't want a thing, me.
Yeah, well, that's bad. That's why I just wanted to ask, like, I'm guessing, as you say, CV wise. So when you're applying for the gigs, I've got no idea. So that's what you literally have to do is this is me, or
So when you're first starting out and like no one knows who you are and stuff, so like say you do 4 or 5 years trying to get to a level, and when you get to a level where you think I'm good enough to get onto these gigs now and get paid, I'm as good as anybody else you've got on them gigs. That's pretty much what you're saying to yourself. You're basically going, like, you look at professional nights and there's 3 acts and an MC on, and you're basically saying, am I as good as them? And if you think you are, you start applying for them gigs, and then promoter might not give you a shot, and it's mostly word of mouth. But every now and again, you will get a promoter who go on, yeah, like I've got an open spot here. I look at the CV, 10 open spots. This one's been in loads of finals. I'll just give him the shot. That's all you do. You're just emailing. But like, as the better you get, the more word of mouth it is. Like the more, like, if you think about it like a pyramid sort of thing. Obviously, open mics, there's thousands of them, and the better you get, the smaller the pool of people around that level is. Right. To the point where when you become professional, you're like second, third rung down. Like it's dead small. Everyone will know who you are anyway, even whether they met you or not. Yeah. Like I know all the professional acts just from like, have you ever gigged with them? And if I haven't gigged with them, I know I'm going to at some point because all my mates have gigged with them and all the people I started with. So like you should know each other sort of thing. But when you first start off, it's just emailing people and going, "Can I have a chance just coming to your night?"
Who gave you your first big chance? Do you remember? Or
I don't know what you count as a big chance. But my first paid gig was in the Baby Blue in the Albert Dock, and that was my first weekend. Anna Cook was the one who booked it. She's now Troy Hawk's touring agent. So. Which is quite nice because my first proper playing gigs are like 2,000 people supporting Troy. I've also been booked through her. Oh, I suppose your mate, that's why I got it. But like, she books it as well. But that Baby Blue, and then my mum came to see me. She's like, I'm doing a proper weekend. Do you want to come and see me? Come to see me with her mates, and then almost got kicked out because like she'd never been to a comedy night, so she didn't like rate. They just didn't understand it. I think my mum would understand it a little bit, but like her mates didn't. It's like going to the theatre or going to cinema. You gotta shut up, watch the acts. You can't talk while the acts are on, and you're not meant to shout out. And at the time, I think it must have been like, it must have been about 10 years ago, so they'd been about 27 or something like that, and I was probably doing jokes about my little brother, and like they were all shouting out, like my brother's called Matthew. And I was like doing a joke about him, and all my mum's mates all used to joke because at that time he was 17. Joke about like fancying him and that's him around up. And I had to do a joke, and they would go, "Not my Matthew, not my Matthew." And I'm like, "There's 200 people in a room here." I literally had to stop and go, "There's 200 people in a room here. You think he's being funny, shouting out, but there's the other 196 people in this room couldn't give a fuck what you've got to say. Shut up." And that was my family, that was my man, and that and I had to tell them, and like that got a bit of a laugh, and they did shut up sort of thing. But you're a bit like, fucking hell, my first ever proper weekend, I'm all made up with myself. I'm like getting paid like a professional, and like I'm on a bill with all these acts that I've seen, and I admired as I started off, and then my fucking own family are gonna ruin it, drive into the ground. It's like, oh, but yeah.
I've seen you a couple of times myself. And one of them, I think it was in is it Pins on the rooftop?
They have a Alfie Brown one.
Yeah. And you were talking. I don't want to ruin any bit of it, but you were talking about the Turkish barber with the long fingernail.
Yeah.
And so, but on Manford's Comedy Club, you were described as one of those yarn-spinning comedians who will draw you in with his shaggy dog tails. Do you agree with that? And like, what type of?
I don't. I think they've Googled my name, and it's a different actor because there's another act called Rob Thomas, and I think that must be the best.
I thought that was different to what I saw.
Nothing to do with me. That like
So, but your Turkish barber story stuff like that, so it was a bit crude, you may say, but in a funny way. You know what I mean? Not terrible, but like
crude, but I know what you mean.
Awful, like, but yeah.
No, but I know what you mean. Like, it's like, go on.
So I just say, how would you describe yourself as a comedian? I was trying to think what the people had said.
I say I'm biographical, so all my stuff's about because there's observational. And I wouldn't say I'm observational because I don't notice things. I'm not like going to do like man draw. Everyone's got a man draw, but what I do is I do talk about life, and I talk about my life. So everything I talk about tends to have happened in my life, or has come about from something that's happened in my life. I've been inspired by that, and like I try and talk about that a lot. So I'm more biographical than anything else. I just try and reflect. I just try and reflect what I think's funny going on with me. And normally people can relate to that sort of thing. So like the Turkish barbers things, if you're not, it's online, so I'm not bad about. Yeah. If you've not seen a bit, it's talking about like going to Turkish barbers and just thinking to myself, hold on, this is this is a new experience. Maybe I'm gay, but that I do feel like when I go to Jake's barbers and he is rubbing his head on me scalp, and it's a lovely experience, and like it's just that's meant to be just about like toxic masculinity, like because men can't enjoy things like that. Like you hear about a man getting a massage, you think gay. Like it's just like it's because you can't let yourself go and be like, oh yeah, it's just a normal thing. Women go and get their hair washed all the time, and it's a nice experience. When men like another man touching like that and it's soft, and you're like, oh, rather than just liking this, I've got to turn it into something homophobic sort of thing. It's like, but I would say I'm more biographical. I like to mirror back things that happened in my life, but even down to like I've got a bit about trans. About like my mate once said to me about how Tinder's got loads of trans people on it now, which I thought was wild. It's like, right, and then I've got a cousin who's trans as well, and my cousin went viral because she was in a toilet, and the hand dryer wasn't working, and she's in a toilet with a Tory councillor, and the hand dryer wasn't working, so she dried her hands on her jeans. And the Tory councillor was like, "Oh, it's terrible. The hand dryer's not working." She was like, "Oh, it's all right. I'll just do it. I'll just do it on me." I can't remember what she said, but she said, "I'll just do it on my pants or something." And the Tory councillor then wrote an article saying this woman threatened her, saying it's fine. I'll just dry them on my penis, and about how sexually threatened she felt in this toilet and stuff like that. And I remember that happening. And then with it being your cousin, it's sort of close to home because you're a bit like, oh, fucking hell, my cousin's in like this viral thing that's happened on Twitter, that's happened to my cousin. I remember reading it thinking, the whole thing's just mad though, isn't it? It's just so silly. It's like, oh, I'll dry my hands on my penis, and you're like, rather than pants. Like, even if she did say that, that's funny, isn't it, though, isn't it? I'll dry my hands on my penis. Like, why are you suddenly sexually threatened that she's got a penis? And then I wrote a joke, then like say I remember my mate telling me that Tinder's full of trans people now. I was like, oh, there's a joke in this, and then the joke is just now about like how like basically I say I'd love to suck a woman's cock. That's basically what it is. And like it's just the whole idea, everyone just starts laughing at the idea of sucking a woman. Like I say I'd love to suck a woman's cock, but I'd hate to suck a man's minge. I'd hate to lick a man's minge, because as far as I'm concerned, that's gay. It's just like, it's just the idea. It doesn't matter what's between your legs, but it's just a funny thing to come into it. So like I say, everything I talk about is inspired by something that's happened in my life. It might not be directly happened. It might be like, it might be inspired. Like that obviously didn't directly happen. Like I've never been on Tinder and anything, but that happened to my cousin, and then my mate telling me there's loads of trans people on Tinder now. Just made me go, fucking hell, that's funny. And I put two together, wrote the joke. Like I once had a joke where like my cousin used to sell drugs from my nan's house. And like I had a joke where like just trying to describe what a scally my nan is. And it was just about how I walked in one day. Well, in the joke again, you can find it online. I say there's a big pile of cocaine on the table, and my cousin's mixing it with teething powder and putting it into little bags to sell on, and my nan's like smiling. I go, what's she smiling about? It's because the teething powder was their idea. That used to be the joke about how like my nan was just so, she knew what was happening. She'd never mention anything, but like I used to get horrified by it because be like, why? So basically that was inspired by I walked into my nan's living room and my cousin's counting out like 10 grand of cash on the coffee table while my nan's watching telly. And I'm going, so what are you doing? My cousin's like, what, she's not asked? And I'm like, yeah, but can we have some decorum? Like, I know we're scumbags, but can we have something, like, where we at least try and hide it from her? And she's like, oh, she's not asked. I was like, yeah, but one, she's not asked. And my cousin went, she doesn't know what it is. I was like, what, she's not thick. Just because she's not asked doesn't mean she's thick. You haven't got a job. She knows you've not got a job. Where do you think she's thinking you're getting 10 grand from? Like, just sitting there counting out cash. You're like, fucking, I remember, like, so remember that happened when I was younger. Then when I started comedy, and you start rifling for your life, thinking, what's funny? I remember thinking of that's a funny thing. Not everyone's been through, but people can sort of relate to having scumbag family members, and you're like, fucking hell, I'm coming round to see me nan, and you're there counting out cash, fucking all scrumpled up, and you're like,
but mostly true story events and stuff. I think that's what people relate to more.
Yeah, like I say, it's all inspired by true stuff, so people relate to some part of it.
Yeah.
Like people go, oh, I know what he's feeling, sort of thing.
Well, and the writing side of it as well. I saw you said you wrote for roast battles on Comedy Central and stuff. So was you writing for other people? Like, why is that not your material? Like, how does that work?
So the road battles one was because your mates end up going on these things.
Yeah.
So your mates will tell you who they're battling, and they're probably just like, because you have things where like some people do pay to write. So I've had stuff where people have sat down, I would wrote for someone, and they've had ideas, and we fleshed them out, and we worked on things, sort of thing, and you get paid a set fee per day to do that and stuff. But the roast battle one was like a couple of mates were on it, told us who they were battling, and it was basically just us send us any stuff. Anything we use, anything you use, I'll pay you for, sort of thing. So like, my mate was battling someone, and I had an old joke that I used to do in my set, and he was like, "Oh, I really like that old joke. Can I just buy that? You never use it, and I'll just change the name." I was like, "Yeah, sound." So we did that. We did that sort of thing, and then sent him some other stuff, things like that. But in terms of writing for other people, it's just like a muscle. Like you see things that are funny, and like. There's loads of times I'll think of stuff and think I'll never use that, either because it's never happened to me, and I like to try and keep it like all biographical, or I just think that's silly, and I'm not silly. Yeah. Like there's certain things like I know who I am on stage now, and I can't get away with silly voices. So if there's something silly or something stupid, it's like I'll give that to someone else.
So that's what
you still know.
Do you give it out, or do you like bank it and wait for people to ask it, or?
Mostly, well, it depends. If it's like just one like a one-off joke sort of thing, you wrote down anything, and I'll never say that. You just sort of leave it there, and then it might come, and you go, "Oh, that'd be good for you," sort of thing. I've got one. So in terms of me and my mate, we were joking about like watching too much porn sort of thing. Because I've got a joke about like I watched a lot of porn the last 3 years because I've had a kid, started having sex, and like my mate had one. Had the bit where he had the bit where, and we were fleshing it out. It's like, so one of the jokes was, well, people say that my wife says I don't notice anything, but I've watched so much porn now I can tell you who made it by the stairs. Like you show me a set of stairs, and I'll tell you that's Naughty America or Brazzers. And we were joking about that, and it was him who had the line of, I can tell you the porno by the stairs, and then it worked. So then we sort of fleshed. He gave me the line, and we were trying to flesh it out, and we were fleshing it out. Imagine being a plumber turning up. Imagine being a joiner turning up to fix the stairs, and you recognise them, and you're like, "Fucking hell, might get me all here." like in the porn, and you're just actually there just to do the job. You got to actually. How good would you be to be the joiner who actually fixes them stairs that you wanked over loads? And like we're joking about that, but like I can't do that because that. Going to do that whole bit requires being in character and acting out and stuff, and I don't really do that. And like, but he come up with we come up with it together, sort of thing. Like my idea was imagine being a joiner who turns to fix the stairs, and you recognise them. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you could do that, you could do that." But like, I couldn't do all the bits that he was saying. So I'm like, I can't do that on stage. So you can still know what's funny. You can still recognise, "Oh, doing this would be funny. Trying that there would be funnier." But like. You can still recognise other people's voices and what might work for other people. Just because you can't do it yourself doesn't mean like you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yeah. And so you say you're selling it before. Do you always sell it, or sometimes it's just like, "Yeah, this is"?
Oh no, loads of times, almost 90% of the time, just give it away.
Yes,
you only really sell it when it's like
someone asks you, is it? Or?
Yeah, so it has to be someone profile, like someone. I'd never sell to someone on my level. Yeah. So it's just like professional comedians doing gigs, but like someone's got telly work. You're thinking, well. Yeah. They want to buy it, they need to buy it, because once they've done something on telly, they can't really do it again on stage. Yeah. So you're sort of killing it as well by being it. So they're happy to buy stuff, sort of thing. So that tends to be when you sell stuff. You wouldn't like say me and you going to the gig, we're on the same level. I'm opening your closing or whatever. I wouldn't sell you. I'd just go try that out.
Yeah. Well, you're saying about like different voices and that, and like so there's. Like offensive comedies, when someone wants to touch on, to like Jimmy Carr, for example, he says some of the he obviously deliberately trying to like trigger people and get a reaction. So, what's your thoughts on like the reaction he gets sometimes? He puts specials out and like certain jokes he makes. Like I think
he's caught in it, isn't he? He's just caught in it. So like he knows what he's like. That's all. Just he knows the more offended he can make someone. But even now to the point where like no one watches Jimmy Carr and gets offended anymore because you know what you're getting. Yeah. So that's why, like, I think a lot of him now is him telling people how offensive he is before he's even put the special out. Like, I don't want to knock him. I've met him a couple of times. He's a lovely fella. But, like, he is now having to tell people how offensive he is because no one's asked anymore. Yeah. Like, because everyone's seen him. So no one's watching Jimmy Carr and going, "Oh, my God, I'm so offended. If you're that person who you know you're not going to like his stuff because you get offended, then you're not going to watch him. So now, like, leading up to his Netflix thing, it's like, oh, how offensive am I? Oh, some people are going to hate me. Some people are going to, I'm going to get cancelled. It's like, are you? You're not, are you? Yeah. You're just telling everyone you are. So people get excited about what you're going to put out because that's what used to get people to get excited. Because people who like him like the fact that he's offensive and they want him to be offensive. So they need him to be like, oh, I'm going to cancel, so they get excited about it because no one else gives a shit, sort of thing. And in terms of trying to be offensive, I don't know. It's not for me. I've got one joke people say is dead dark, but again, that's based on a joke me and my mates do all the time. Again, it's online, you can see it. I just thought about saying I want my best mates to die. I just basically say I want one of my best mates to die, because I'm at an age now where I don't go out anymore. So I know I'd enjoy a good funeral. Like, I'd love to go to a funeral, one of my best mates, because then you can just get bladdered, no one can say nothing because you're grieving. It's like, it's your best mate, no one's going to pull you or nothing about it, and all your other mates are going to be there, so it's going to be a boss time, because all your mates are there, because one of your best mates has died. And then, like, I joke after it going, but one of my best mates does die, I want them to kill themselves. I don't want it to be cancer or nothing, because if it's cancer or something, I've got to do some sort of charity event then, haven't I? Like, it's on me to then raise money for what he's died of. Where if he kills himself, I can just be like, I'm going to the pub to check on my mates because you know what happened last time. So, like, that's my darkest joke.
A bit dark,
yeah. But, like, I'm not trying to offend anyone by that. That is literally something me and my mates say. So that come from my WhatsApp group, because we all say all the time, do you a good funeral in here, you know? Like, whose funeral do you reckon would be best if we died tomorrow? It just come from that. Yeah. And I just thought that's quite funny. But other lads must talk like that. Other lads must be like,
WhatsApp humor is different to what
that's
people
it.
say out there.
Well, I just think other lads must talk like that sort of thing. And then, like I say, so that's where I want one of my best mates to die because I love a good funeral. And then you just like, sort of, what else is there? And then think, oh, yeah, well, they kill themselves, then you don't have to do a charity thing then. I had that on myself, sort of thing.
But like, for people who go out and be deliberately
offensive,
what do you think? Just that's bad, or you don't mind
I don't think
the style,
bad.
or like the reaction they get to it, or
I don't think it's bad. I think it's up to you. Like, people are like that. As long as, with me, I just think, can you justify the joke? And like, everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone, if you can justify why you're like, if someone asked me to justify that joke, then I just told you, it'd be like, well, one, I've had lads my age who had killed themselves, and like, you want to celebrate the life rather than be fucking morbid about it. Two, like, they're conversations me and my mates have, so I'm not going to hide from it or shy away from it. And that is what happens when one of your best mates does die, something like that. You do spend the next fucking 5 years having to raise money because you feel obliged to, sort of things. So, like, I'm not going to, I think I can justify all that sort of thing. Yeah. But like, if I'm going out and looking to offend someone specific or something, like, it's even like I didn't do a trans bit for ages, and then when I done one was because of what happened with my cousin and stuff. But the reason I didn't do it was just because I wasn't interested in it, because it's nothing to do with me. So I'm not asked. Whereas some people will some people will want to do a trans bit because trans is in the news loads lately, so they'll want to do it. And you're like, if you're wanting to trigger people, then I just think if you're wanting to do that, then you've got to accept the backlash. And if you're willing to accept the backlash, then fine. But you can't cry about being cancelled. Oh, they cancelled all my work just because I offended them. Well, you were looking to offend them. What was you expecting back? You know you can't say that in the street. You know, if you're in a pub trying to offend someone, they punch you in the face. What you've done is been punched in the face by the internet. That's your fault. So it's like, what you want to happen? But like, with me, I think everyone's free to joke about whatever they want, but you've got to be able to justify it, because everyone's got their things. And like that is another thing with me, is where it's like, I think when you become a comedian, you realise everyone's got their own thing. And then it's hypocritical to get a cob on with your, like, my uncle died at Hillsborough. I get wound when anyone makes jokes about Hillsborough, but at the same time, I'm at the point where I'm like, right, but I've probably laughed at loads of other things. Everyone's got the thing where it's like, it's really offensive to them because it's so personal to them, and you just got to sort of let it go. Like it just is what it is. Like, obviously, tragedy chanting and that is something different, but as in terms of someone making jokes. But like, yeah, I just think everyone's got the thing. And if you're the person who wants to touch on what you know is going to trigger people, and that's on you. You can't. You got to be able to, like I say, you got to be able to justify the joke and go, "Oh, this is why I made that joke." And if your reason I made that joke because I just thought it was funny. I think, oh, you used to dick, aren't you?
Yeah. Right, well, that seems like a good place to leave comedy, and then we'll go for another break, and we'll talk about football. You're a bit dreading about. So see you in a sec. Are you looking for a Kazakhstani football team to support? Then I think FC Kemay is the team you should support. Do you agree?
Growing up as a child, I always had FC Kemay posters on my bedroom wall.
Well, and all the children of the Kazakhstani future will have FC Kemay posters on their wall because FC Kemay is the team to support, and because of that, Tom has made us a chant that we're all going to follow. So,
up the Kemay, up the Kemay,
up the Kemay. Make sure you follow them on all the social medias. All the posts and all the things you should follow will appear below us right here. And you should be a supporter of FC Kemay.
Live, laugh, Kemay.
Welcome back to the next part of the Football Historian podcast. We're going to talk about football and football history, namely in your football history. So start with an easy one. What's your first game or first memory of football?
I went to Liverpool v Wolves. Couldn't tell you the scoreline, couldn't tell you who scored. Me and my dad, I all remember, my dad took me, because it was the last season before the cop was getting knocked down, and I was probably about 3 or 4, and he wanted me to see it before it got knocked down, but he didn't want to take me in it because he said it was too dangerous, because I was only a toddler. So I remember sitting in the main stand and look at the cop and my dad trying to explain what it was and stuff like that. Like I say, I all remember we played Wolves or Sheffield, couldn't even tell you exactly who the team was, but yeah, that was my first memory. I just remember sitting in the main stand with my dad and looking at the cop as it was then when it was all standing, and him trying to explain that it's going to get knocked down, so I think it's getting replaced and stuff like that. But that's my very first.
So he did his job then, if it's burnt in your brain enough for that. So you must
it's burnt in my brain, the experience and why I was there. So I respect all of that. I remember going through like turnstile, like the old style turnstiles. So I remember getting to the game, getting to the stadium, being in the stadium. Don't remember anything about the match, nothing. But I remember looking at the cop.
That's it. It's normally the green or the grass and maybe go in the pub. That's normally your first thing. But then, so when did you start properly going the game then?
94, 95, the year Everton got to the FA Cup final. That's when I got my season ticket.
Yeah.
That was when we first started going the game regularly. So my first season was seeing like my cousins and that being happy that Everton won the FA Cup and having parties in the back gardens and me being like, oh, like this is my first season at it. But yeah, that was the first time I got a ticket. That's my first other memories of that season. And the next year, 96, Liverpool got to the cup final themselves, but that was my turn.
Yeah.
And then we lost. But that was my first year I started going to some away games. I went to Villa Park, where Fowler scored in the semi-final and being in the pub with all the Liverpool fans. And I remember going down to 96 and my dad waking me up in the morning, be like, come on, son. I'm like, what's going on? Like, we're going to the final. He didn't like, big surprise. And then being made up, getting picked up outside a pub called, I think it was called the Mark Kent's. At that point, it's like a Masonic Hall now. Yeah, we got picked up outside a big white coach. Like, I say big white coach, there's only about 12 of us in it. But like, on a coach with all my dad's mates and, yeah, all going down. And so it must have been, it was 96, so it would have been May 96. So I'd have been 7. And like going down there and like not being allowed to swear. And then like, yeah, my dad not letting me swear, and then we singing all the songs. And one of my dad's mates said to me, just say sausages when they swear. And like, be the fucking Man United, I'll be the sausages in Man United. My dad's mates going, mate, you're annoying me now, just swear. And my dad going, yeah, you can just swear if you want, and then just swear. And we're in a pub, and it was literally half United, half Liverpool. And like, I haven't seen that since. You know, all in the same pub, and they're just singing songs at each other across the pub. It was dead good. Yeah. Obviously went the game, lost. That was shite. But yeah, I remember that was.
And it's going like religiously since, like you go every
home
game
then,
or
every home game. Like obviously, as you get older, you miss some things for whatever reason. But every home game, I can't. Got a season ticket still go to games. So go to many ways as I like, but then trying to like gig and go to away games is hard. But still, every cup final, like trying to get to as many Europeans as I can. Sort of thing. Like, so ever since then.
So what's your best final you've been to then?
Istanbul, obviously. Yeah.
Well,
just yeah, just like whole thing is just incredible. Like, so, Jimmy GCSEs. So my mum didn't want me to go. What were the GCSEs? 2005? I think it might have been A-levels. GCSEs, no, must have been GCSEs. Jimmy GCSEs. What was your time doing GCSEs?
Yeah, it would have been. You left the year I started secondary school and I was in year 5, so it probably would have been like the first year of GCSEs.
Yeah, I'm assuming GCSEs, like. But yeah, so my mum didn't want me to go because of doing my GCSEs and that. And my dad went for like he always goes for like, he ends up going for like a week, my dad, that's when he goes. Like, so I think they were going for 5 nights. And then it was like, well, can you do a 24-hour thing, fly in, fly out? So it must have been like 15, 16 or whatever. So I flew out with my mate. So we booked the 24-hour thing. So fly out there. Then we just had to like, just 2 16-year-olds, like, right, how do we go and find these now? How do we go and find our dads?
Yeah.
So we just jump on a bus to Turkey, basically. Jump on a bus from the airport to Istanbul and just walk around trying to find them. And like, I think we had mobiles, but like, it weren't like smartphones where we can ping a location and all. It's like, where are you? I will by here. Like, all right, we'll just keep walking until we find something. Yeah, we're by the square now. We can see Sky Sports. Now we're like eight streets away from there. And yeah, it's just like, it was just manic. It was a proper. When you go to a European final now, like, besides from obviously fucking Paris and that, most of them are all ready for you. It's all been prepared. Yeah. Like, you know what you do in the signpost. This Istanbul wasn't like that. Istanbul, we all just rocked up, and it just fucking happened around us. Like, it's like they'd made no preparations for it whatsoever. And like, yeah, so we just found them eventually after like an hour of walking around, just all drinking. Like, obviously I'm 16, can't really drink much at that point, but I'm the FS and all that. Remember FS being gorgeous, I don't know why, but taste it since, it's fucking horrible. Yeah, and then like, you got a cab, getting cab to the stadium, no one knew how to get there. Like, and then the cab's just stopped. There's too much traffic, like, just, you could see the stadium, and a cab's on it, and it literally must be what we'd call a motorway, 3 lanes, and all the cars just stopped. And I was like saying to the cabbie, what do we do? And he was like, I don't know. So like, we got out, and like, you get out and there's people fucking dancing on roofs of buses. There's people in a trunk of the taxis and everything, like just in the boot of a taxi just to get there. And you got crates of ale with you, carrying your ale, and like you walking up over the hill, and it was like just sea of ants, the red ants going over the hill to like this stadium, and you can see the stadium. So you think it's only like there, and actually you're like a fucking 5-mile walk up and over this hill, and you're all just outside the stadium like well before the game, and like, everyone's just drinking from crates, and you're just standing around, and yeah, it was incredible. And get in the stadium, it's like 70% Liverpool fans, and you just go on, fucking hell, we're taking over here. And yeah, and then obviously what happens in a game happens, and then we were standing or sitting behind Stephen and his dad. So at half time, 3-0 down sort of thing, my dad fucked off for a walk. Like, I'm crying. I think he's crying, but he doesn't want to like fucking show he's crying, so he fucks off for a walk, comes back again, like, and like as he comes back, the fella in front of us is getting the phone call, and you realise Stephen and his dad, and he's saying what, and he's calling his dad saying, I'm taking me off, I don't want to go off, and he's like, but I mean, like, you're injured, yeah. So that's when we found out Stephen was coming off, like, at half time, and they were like, fucking, that's the game gone, whatever. And yeah, and then obviously what happens, he's singing You Never Walk Alone at half time, just like in tears singing it, and then once they scored once, you're like, hold on, something's happening here. And then like, obviously won, watched the trophy, all that's amazing. And you all pile out, and there's no way you're getting back to Turkey. There's just these buses, and it's obviously been put on to bus people to the airport or the city centre, but they didn't expect the game to go extra time, and they weren't like expecting fans to hang around and watch the trophy lift. So you just sort of running to get in these. So there must have been a handful of buses, and people just diving into them. So like, yeah, so they sort of left me dad there. I got a bus to the airport, and he obviously going back to the city centre because he was flying back the next day, had another night, and I was going straight back. Get to the airport, and it's just shocker, and like, they were telling you the flights are getting off without you, and like, we're literally watching flights get off, and the people at the airport saying, yeah, there's 6 people on that. and you're seeing it fly away. And you're like, why? And you're like, it's just, that's the time it's going, so it's going. There's no sort of like delays and no like, so it was literally, the airport was manic. Shocker. People were pushing through doors to try and like get outside. I just sort of think, if I can get closer to a plane, then I might have more chance of getting on. Because at that point, people are there, the plane's gone. Like, my plane had gone, just gone. Like, so it was like, what are we doing? And I didn't know what to do. I think my phone's dead at that point. And like, so we've been there all night, sleeping on a bench. And then my dad rocks up in the morning, and I just see each other by chance. Like, I'm not waiting to see my dad. He's coming to get his flight. And he's like, what the fuck are you still doing here? Trying to explain what's happened. And he's like, fucking hell. So by the next time, there's some more sort of like organisation that got on. And I think Liverpool, the football club, had started sending planes back. Or the companies had started sending planes back to come and get people the next day, try and get them home. So it was literally a case of like, just get on a plane, and like, I'm with my dad. And then so my dad goes and gets his plane, and he goes, you're going to be all right. And he gives me his credit cards. Like, if you need that to buy a flight, whatever, just do it. And he goes getting his flight, and like, we're just in this group outside on like, not the runway, but outside the airport all together. And we walk up to like, so we're in this group. So then I see my dad, and like, my mate's dad, my mate's still with me. His dad's getting a plane. So we just walk to their plane to see what happens. And the pilot basically comes and goes, there's 4 seats left. Who here flew with our company? And there's 2 people who had flown the company to you get on. And he basically said, there's 2 seats left, make a plea. So to me there, and I said to the fella, I said that our dads are on that plane. Our plane's got on without us. Both 15. If we don't get on this plane, I don't know what we're going to do. Like our dads are on the plane. Like, what are we gonna? We don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah. Like, and he's like, and the fellas, I was like, that's our only way. So we've got no money. Been stranded in Istanbul, and he goes, okay, you get on. So me and my mate get on. Mate goes to go to a seat to the right. I go to a seat to the left, where they said there's an empty seat, and there's not an empty seat. And the plane's full. And I'm going to the girl, can I sit in like next to you? I said, you can't. So yeah, my dad went to, right, you sit down. And my dad got off and just like stayed in Istanbul on his own till he could like get home the next day. So like, I flew home with him. He got up a seat for me. Took his card back and all that, obviously. And then I got home then. And then the parade was like the next day, wasn't it? Yeah. So we all go into the parade, and my mum was like, come on, we'll go to the parade and all that. And I'm just there, just like at the parade crying because my dad's in Istanbul. I don't know how he's going to get back or not. And at that time, my mum spoke to him and said, and he like, yeah, they've arranged a plane. I'm on this. I'm going to be all right and all that. But like, I just couldn't enjoy the parade. Like, so I'm there, and you've seen all the scenes and all that. Yeah. It's amazing. I'm standing on Queen's Drive and like loving it when the bus is going past the whole time, just feeling so fucking guilty. Yeah. That like, my dad's in Istanbul, I'm looking at the parade, I don't know when he's going to be back or nothing. Then he ended up coming back like 2 days later or something like that. It was just fucking mad. But still, even after like, just what happened in that game, that whole experience, and they're all just turning out fine and all that. Yeah. Just the fucking best. Yeah. I'd say that outside of that, my next one, Shevchenko Park. Did you go to that one?
Yeah.
Even though we lost the game.
Yeah, that's my favourite. I didn't go to Istanbul. I went to Madrid when we won that one, but I preferred Kiev after that as well.
It was just incredible, wasn't it? It was the first time where they'd organised like a fan space properly, I think. Yeah. And like, say, Jamie Webster and all that was on, and everyone was like dancing in a fountain and all that. And like, they'd obviously organised space that was too small because they didn't realise how well Liverpool travelled. But like, that was incredible.
The whole thing was so good.
Yeah, Shevchenko, I think
50p pints, I think helped as well, does it? Like, it was just so cheap.
I think Ukraine was my second one after this, even though we lost, just like the whole atmosphere, and that was amazing.
Yeah, it was positive. But that's it. And you spoke there 95% about non-football things, and that's the best bit. Isn't
well, that's it. That's why I'm saying like football's so special to me.
It's all stuff around.
I feel like when you get into it, you lose all that a little bit because you lose your family and being involved. It's all work.
Well, football gets in the way of having a good time sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Like, Basel was amazing.
That was.
We stayed in Mulhouse outside, just in France outside, and got the train in. That was another one, couldn't get home.
Yeah, it was.
There was a train strike that night, couldn't get home. Had to get a taxi from Switzerland into France and that.
Yeah, really was. We had an Airbnb in France as well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we drove. So after that, I was going to say your best game, but I'm guessing that covers Istanbul. So we say your favourite era.
Okay, yeah, Istanbul's probably my best game. And then outside of that, I'd say Chelsea semi-final. For Istanbul, just for the atmosphere.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
That's the best atmosphere I've been in.
Maybe
or maybe one of the Newcastle 4-3s. The first Newcastle 4-3 was incredible. So like in terms of games like outside of a final, would be them.
Yeah. What's your favourite era then? Obviously, you started watching the '90s and Klopp's team now and all stuff like that. What do you reckon the best era of being a Liverpool fan was for you?
I'd still say Benitez. It's just because I'm older now. And so when Benitez, like say 2005, I'm still a kid. I'm a teenager, starting to drink with my mates. I'm going out. I'm enjoying everything about it. With the Klopp, when Klopp came in, 7 years ago? I'm 30. I'm buying a house and all that. Like, I loved it. I mean, it was a great time. But as you get older, it's sort of not it means less, but it's less impactful on your world, sort of thing. Like there's other things in your life that are more like impactful on your life, and like buying a house gives you more stress than whether Liverpool are going to win or lose. Like, whereas when you're 18 to 25, the only thing you give a fuck about is Liverpool and shagging, sort of thing. You're like, they're the only things I'm asked about, and so when Benitez come over and going to that Champions League and then going again in Athens, 2007, and winning the trophies we win and getting close to winning the league and Torres, the bounce, we're going to back that. Remember that? Yeah, I think they were my happiest times in the Cop. And people my age will understand. We were singing, we're going to bounce in a minute, knowing Torres was going to score. And Torres would score, and you just hear someone go, bounce! And we'd all start bouncing, singing the Torres song. I was thinking, this is incredible, we're amazing. Got the best midfield in the world, and you believe in it. And you're like, fuck me. Like, unreal. Like, people don't... I think people who weren't sort of my age, like old people and younger, don't understand the level of like joy Benitez brought just from like Liverpool going from being so shit in the night, because we were kids watching United win everything, getting told by our dads how good Liverpool were, watching United win everything, going, well, why haven't we got that? They're stealing our trophies here, because that's all you fucking know. It's like your dad's like, it's like your ma's shagging someone else, and your dad's telling you how much of a good family you used to be, and like and all that, and you're watching your stepdad shag your ma, going, you're stealing my mum. You're seeing United win things, going, you're stealing our trophies. They belong to us. I know they belong to us because my dad told me they belong to us. Seeing us win fuck all, do you know what I mean? And then like Benitez come along, and you're suddenly the champions of Europe, and like you're bouncing a minute, and best midfield in the world, unbelievable. I just remember being like, yeah, just so overjoyed and like so happy in the Cop. And like my brother's he was getting to an age where he's just starting to enjoy it and probably having that little bond with him. And it was all just, it was all just
special time.
That was, So like, it just gets a link because Liverpool is so like sort of manager, like Carragher talks about, like in Liverpool, everything's about the manager rather than, so like, you sort of say the Benitez era, like that period of time.
Yeah.
Just so like, we're so happy.
Yeah, was
like we're winning loads of cups and you're going away all the time. And like, you want to win the league, and we got close to win the league, but at the same time, it'd been so distant since you last won the league that you're not really that arsed.
You're happy to be involved.
Just happy to be involved, and like,
But it's definitely a special time. But if we talk, I'll give you a tough one. Your top 5 Liverpool players of all time, and if you can put them in order as well.
Fowler's number 1, just because he's God, just because like he was my idol when I was growing. He was everything. He's still now like, I beat football now. I could meet who's our best player. Like, say, meet McAllister or Van Dijk now, he's like, oh, sound, yeah. If I met Klopp now, if I met Fowler now, I'd still fall to bits. I just fucking love him. He was everything to me. Like, every year, like, if I've got a kid now, and every kid I bought, I've got someone different on the back. I would never get anyone but Fowler. Like, every year it was Fowler or nothing until he left. And then, it was like, I think that's when I stopped getting kits then, when he left. I was like, I idolised him. So for me, he's number 1. Not because he's the best, but just because
special to you.
Everything he is to me. And the best player ever to play for Liverpool is probably Steven Gerrard. I think we will understand how good he was unless you watched him week in, week out. He's number 2. It was like, just because he was incredible, and it's good now seeing Rooney and Scholes and that, be honest. Now there's that bit of sort of distance between when they played. You see the players now being honest about and all, a lot of them are saying now, it was always Gerrard. Gerrard could do everything Lampard and Scholes could do, and no one could do what Gerrard. So I'd say 1 Fowler for what he meant to me, 2 Gerrard, 3. I hate saying this because he never really won anything, but Suarez was just you're watching someone you're like he's like the best in the world, and I know Messi was the best in the world, but he was the best. You're watching going, that's the best striker in the world. Even Torres, where you watch Torres and there's Drogba's and that, and you're like, oh, he's up there, but you're watching Suarez going, he's different.
Clear of the rest.
He's and you knew he was dragging. You knew he was doing what Gerrard used to do. What Gerrard is just dragging us through games because he was so good. So they'd say Suarez. It's hard after that.
Yeah.
You sort of want to say Zabi for sentimental feelings, but at the same time, I was, again, this might just be my rose-tinted glasses. I was always very much, I hate the way people attack Benitez for wanting to sell Alonso, because I remember him being shit for that year. I remember him thinking, I understand why you want to sell him, because you've been shite, and now you had a deal with Juventus, they wouldn't pay you 90 grand a week, so you fell through, and all of a sudden you're great again, because you know you're getting sold, and you want the big money contract sort of thing. It's I had more respect for Mascherano than I did Alonso, because at least he put a transfer request in and was like, fine me, I'll lose my loyalty bonus, I just want to go to Barcelona. I sort of respected him doing that, rather than Alonso was like, oh no, respect the club. It's like, do you? You were shy for the year. You haven't got the wages you wanted, and all of a sudden you're playing amazing. But I remember seeing Alonso and thinking, I remember seeing him pass, even his first game, and thinking, fuck, that's something you've not seen before. It's the way he spread the ball. But I'll go Salah after Suarez. Because anyone will tell you watch Salah play, he's not technically brilliant or anything. But he is though. You can't deny him. He's undeniable. Like Haaland now. You thought it sounded Roy Keane say he's a League Two player, but he's undeniable. That's what Salah is. I think. For what he's done, to be a right winger, score the goals he scored, to come in, and he done it from the day one. It's not like we were an amazing side. He done it from day one, and he come in. So Salah. People normally,
well, if it's a bit before your time, there's Kenny's, there's John Barnes, there's Ian Rush. But if you do it off what you've seen, then you've got
only going off
Van Dijk, Alisson. You probably get to shout, and then you say Alonso, Torres. You said you loved him.
Yeah, he's a rat, though, isn't he?
It's best, not favourite, but
I know. That's who you should be. The best should
course,
be.
Well, it's all right.
Or then feel things,
Jamie Carragher. You could also mention him for what he did on the pitch. Obviously, not the most talented, but
I think Van Dijk's probably my number 5. I don't know if people again. People like to slate him a little bit now, like fans of other clubs. But I don't think I've ever seen anyone look so cool. Just change a team. I know Alisson come in the same time, but Van Dijk come in and there was a thing in the team we're sound now. That calmness. I've never seen anyone so cool. Yeah, I put Van Dijk number 5 then, because I think he's incredible. So Fowler, Gerrard, Suarez, Salah, Van Dijk.
Not a bad 5.
No, not a bad 5. I'm not saying that 5 is the best, but I'm saying they're my 5. You're on a list to play there. Yeah.
Okay, well, and then we'll just do one finally before we do our last section, which is the best 5 non-Liverpool players you've seen. If you can put them in order, that's great, but if not, just 5 names.
Non-Liverpool players I've seen.
Even if you've not seen them live, just that you
I don't want to keep it alive. That's what I'm starting to think now. Trying to think what individual performance we've seen at Anfield.
One always comes to my mind is Luka Modric, Tottenham. I think he was really playing against Shelby, so maybe that's why he looks so good. But
but even when he come at Madrid, he just fucking
he's unbelievable. He's always in my mind. But
Modric is incredible. Yeah, it's hard because you don't remember the. I always remember Ronaldo anytime with the ball being scared, but I don't remember having major great games.
I think it was that when Rodgers season and he got clapped off the pitch, Ronaldo, I think, didn't he? It was Real Madrid, obviously. But
Yeah. He was
obviously we weren't as good as other teams.
He was unbelievable. And every time with the ball, you shit yourself. Yeah. I'll go Ronaldo number one because I don't think I've really seen Messi have a great game in Anfield.
Yeah.
I've seen him have like when he beat us 3-0. You know what I mean? He was great then, wasn't he? But Ronaldo number one. Trying to think who else should come. Henry number two. Again, just fucking always destroyed us.
Yeah.
Luxembourg as well. Luxembourg always played great against us. Always seemed to score against us. Overmars was great against us as well. Yeah. Ronaldo, Henry, then I'll go Modric. What a go, 4, 5. Like, these are the only people I've seen play at Anfield.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
sticking to people I've seen
at
Anfield who've been fucking unbelievable. Drogba was always great against us. He always fucking had character off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Too strong.
What if you go on Anfield? Arshavin, does he come in? Scoring 4 at Anfield? There'll be many who do that.
Yeah, but he never like. I'm thinking about like how you see you're there, you stand, and even though you're in person, you're seeing something special there. You never got that with Arshavin. He's just like, how the fuck's that gun scored again? But like, I know what you mean. You know what I was going to say Kanchelskis then, but it's probably before your time. He used to always play great against us for Everton. Number 5.
It's the United one. They always seem to do quite well against us.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Beckham was always good against us. Rooney was always shite against us. Yeah, go on, I'll have Beckham. Yeah.
So what was that? What was your
so Ronaldo, Henry, Modric, Drogba, Beckham. And again, only players I remember seeing at Anfield. Like, I can remember Beckham, like, always. Ran his heart out. It was just always killed us.
Yeah. But he said it's mad about Rooney not playing because he says it himself. He couldn't play it. Yeah. It was meant too much to him.
Tried too hard, didn't he?
Right, okay. Well, we'll go to our last break and then we're going to come back and settle some of the biggest debates in Wales football. So we'll see you in a sec.
Hi, I'm Warren, the producer for the Football Historian podcast, and we're here today to talk to you about the Patreon subscription.
Yes, so for just £1 a month for the first 100 people, there's a lot of benefits that you get, and I think £1 is a terrific deal.
Pittance, yes,
£1 only, and you get early access, which means at least 24 hours before everyone else gets the episode, you get to watch it. There's also an extra section, we call it the Football Historian Podcast Extra Time, and we ask all the questions to the guests that no one else gets to see unless you're a patron. And on top of that, you're the ones who get to ask the questions. You send them in, we tell you which guest is going to be coming and sitting in this chair. You ask them, we record it, you get to watch it. No one else does. On top of that, we do a monthly special. We did one last night. It was a quiz. You were there.
Yeah, bedlam and great content.
Yeah, so hopefully you can watch that. As I said, we've got a round on Limvoy Primus or Lionel Messi. We've done mastermind stuff, all that. That's going to happen every month. The bigger this grows, we're going to do it even more regularly. Hopefully it'll be once a week. But we need your support. So to do that, £1 a month for the first 100 people. Your early support will be rewarded. From then on, it's £3 a month if you want to support us. If you want to pay £5 a month, you get all that we've just mentioned, but you get a poster. Warren will sign it, I'll sign it, all the lads. We'll get a few of the guests to do it as well. We'll send that out to you. And then for £10 a month, you get all that, the poster, all the early access, and you get a free copy of any of my books. So I've done one on Billy Liddell, Crossing the Park, Tommy Lawrence. They're all worth at least £20. For just £10, you get a copy of the book, all the stuff we've already mentioned. We'd really appreciate your support. We cannot do this without you.
This really is a passion project, and anything people can put into it goes straight back into it. We don't take a wage. We're doing this for free. We're doing this because we enjoy what we do.
That's it. It all makes the content better. And I say from just £1 a month, you can make our dreams come true. Thanks for the support. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
The debate.
Hello, welcome to the debate where we're going to settle the biggest debates in football history. So, the first one, you've already touched on it, so it'll be nice and easy for you. It's Gerrard, Lampard or Scholes.
It's just Gerrard, isn't it? Like, I can't imagine anyone says anything different.
I think we've had one vote for Gerrard and Scholes. That was Gregory Vignal, who actually played with him as well, so it was a bit of a surprise. But
really,
everyone else has said just Gerrard. Gerrard's won every time, apart from one time he had someone else with him. But
no, Gerrard, I've never seen a more complete footballer, and like I think I've seen him play every position for Liverpool, and even when he first started, you saw him when he came off the bench playing right back, and you knew. It was like the way people like you see Trent now. People always argue, "Oh, could Trent play midfield or not?" And you see what he does with the ball and he passes the ball and that, you think, "Oh, that's incredible." The minute Gerrard come on the pitch, I remember, and he come on at right back, and you're like, "He's the best player on the pitch." And it wasn't he's the best passer of the ball or he can do this. He was the best player on that pitch. The minute he walked on, it's like same with like when people say they see Rooney. The minute Gerrard played for Liverpool, you're like, he is everything. He's the future. Like, it was unbelievable. Yeah. And maybe because I was a kid, I hadn't heard. Like, I'd heard about Michael Owen come through. I hadn't really heard much about Gerrard, maybe because he wasn't a goal scorer or what. But the minute he stepped on that pitch, you knew like he's the best. And every time he played football, I felt like every time I watched him, it's like he's the best player on the pitch by far. He just did everything. It was incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible. You feel sorry for him because he never won the league, sort of thing. But like, he was immense.
So who would be second and third then? Scholes and Lampard.
I think probably controversially Lampard then Scholes. Me. Everyone likes to talk about Scholes like he's a Xavi or Iniesta type, and he was great for a good United team. But like, I always think about it. Like, I think Gary Neville and that, and Rooney said it in their last interview about like Gerrard could come and be for United what Scholes was, but Scholes couldn't be what Gerrard was for Liverpool. I think you could have left Lampard at West Ham, and it'd still be a great goal. It'd still be like Kevin Nolan, or like who's the one that scores for them now? The right winger who's shagging Danny Dyer's daughter.
Jared Bowen.
Jared Bowen. It'd still be that level of player where you're like, oh, could he get a move for a decent club? He'd still score a lot of goals. He'd have that about him. Whereas you put Scholes in there, you'd never know. You're like, unless he gets a bigger move. Yeah. It's like McAllister, he stood out at Brighton, but he's still, if he stayed at Brighton for another 2 years, you still wouldn't go, oh, it's only now at least, like, obviously he won the World Cup with Argentina, and that makes a difference. But now he steps to Liverpool, you're like, oh, fucking hell, how good was he? Yeah. And we didn't get onto it. So it's like Van Dijk, until he moved to Liverpool, no one really respected how good he was at Southampton. And I think that's what Scholes would have just been like, oh yeah, he's a decent player. And everyone forgot about him. Yeah. Whereas now he's this legend because he was at United. Whereas I think Lampard and that would still be who they were. Whereas Scholes was a product of his environment. Yeah, that's a good shout. I don't know if people say it like that. Right, next one is Pele or Maradona. Maradona. 900 of Pele's goals were in the army, weren't he? Never played in a major league. Talks about himself more than anyone else. Yeah, Maradona. He's done it on like fucking... Maradona's on beef. Pele's on Viagra tablets. There's only one winner, isn't there?
Okay, fair enough. And the next one is Messi or Ronaldo.
Messi for me. Ronaldo tries too hard.
But Ronaldo was better at Anfield than Messi was.
Yeah, he was. Ronaldo's better. Like that game. But for me, Messi, it's just because I just like the idea of being naturally, like, he's naturally brilliant, and he's like, from day one, he's just great. Ronaldo, I think you need to respect him for everything he's done. He's made himself a phenom. Whereas Messi was just like Messi was 5 and the best player in the world. He was the best 5-year-old in the world. Ronaldo wasn't the best 18-year-old in the world. Yeah. It wasn't until he was 23 he started doing something like. Whereas Messi, every year he's been alive, he's been the best footballer in the world for his age. Yeah. Like, so that's why it's Messi for me. I respect what Ronaldo done, but it's not romantic for me. Like, I really love the Brazilian Ronaldo, and I love Ronaldinho. Because I really love that idea of like reaching the top and then just fucking partying. Like, just, back at the top, you know what? I want to go and shag a chance. Because that's what I want to do. That's what Ronaldo done to start a party with all the chance people in Brazil. Fair enough, mate. You reach the top, fucking love it. Like when Tyson Fury beat Klitschko and he was like, oh, I felt empty, didn't know what to do. Just fucking party, mate. You've done it. Yeah. What more do you want to do? I love that idea of like going to the top, just doing it once, and whereas Ronaldo's like going to the top and doing it over and over and over again, and boring. Like being like fuck off, like watching City in it. Yeah. City won 6 or 7 leagues. You're fucking boring, shite. Like, who's ass? Like, no one's. That's why, like this season, when Liverpool weren't going to win the league, and it's like Arsenal or City, and like my head wanted Arsenal to make it more interesting, but my heart wanted City because I knew City win it. No one cares the next day. No one's asked. Well, not even the next day. That night, everyone was watching Klopp. Yeah. No one gives a fuck. Because, like, eventually it's just, like you say, it's just boring. Yeah. Whereas, like, if Arsenal won it, they'd still be talking now about Arteta being the next the newcomer, the next great manager, and like, oh, is he gonna? Has he done more than Klopp now already? You know, all that sort of shit. Whereas City's one, now you couldn't give a fuck now. Let's move on. Who's asked? Like 115 charges. Let's just move. Let's move on to that, because that's why people keep now so asked about that, because they're so bored of City winning. It's like, should do something to stop them winning now? It's fucking boring. But
We're in the party.
yeah, so that's why Messi, because Ronaldo wants to make himself great, and like the fact that Messi's pretty much retired now as well, whereas Ronaldo's trying to sell himself as like dragging the Saudi league along and top scorer in the Saudi league. Like, oh, fuck off, mate.
Yeah, Messi's just having fun with his mate.
Oh, Messi's just like, it's just that party in Miami now.
Well, if Messi and Ronaldo were the best two players of the last 15, 20 years, who is the third best?
Suarez.
Comfortably.
Yeah.
So you just mentioned Ronaldo and Ronaldinho. We've had shout for both of them, but
I think Ronaldinho's the best player. I think Ronaldinho's got an argument as one of the best players to ever exist. I think Ronaldinho was incredible. But again, just that short space of time and partying when he stops, sort of thing. But for me, Suarez was just... I don't know, maybe because I've seen him more. But
yeah.
You're saying last 10, 15 years, when did Ronaldinho retire?
Really, like 2010, 2012, around then, was it probably?
Yes, he's sort of out that in the last 15 years, isn't he?
Was probably, yeah.
But you think when Ronaldinho was at his best was what?
2000, 2000,
So that's why he's not the last 15 years.
Yeah,
15
years
yeah,
sorry, yeah.
Ronaldinho, hands down.
Yeah, okay.
I think Ronaldinho could have... I think Ronaldinho had a longer period of time. He could have been like... I remember falling in love with him, like stopping the ball with his back on purpose. Incredible. Like, I think Ronaldinho was one of the best players to ever exist for the period of time he was at Barcelona.
Yeah.
But in terms of like last 15 years, I think it's Suarez.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've got a goalkeeper one for you now. It's Buffon, Casillas, or Neuer. You can give me a second and third as well, please.
Buffon first, then Casillas, then Neuer. Just because Buffon, longevity-wise, and he won everything. In fact, he's still still on the Italy team at like 40 odd, and when they won doing the Euro sort of thing. So I think Buffon, yeah. Casillas for everything with Real Madrid. I don't think he's even that great of a keeper, but I just feel like you know, when people that hate Madrid now, I don't. I just think you've won so much, you got to respect it at some level. Like 15, you just got to respect it. I think the same with Casillas. He was there. He was a major part of it. Like you talk about Raúl not being that great of a striker, but he was such a heartbeat of Real Madrid's team. You got to give him his props, sort of thing. Yeah. So I'm going Casillas. And Neuer, incredible keeper, but Bayern were good under Pep, and they haven't really won much since, like on the international stage, like Champions League stage, or even really got to a final since. So that's why I'm putting Neuer last. But
yeah, okay, that's right. And then the last one is the greatest team ever. So it doesn't have to be like for a game. It can be like a 2-year period, 3-year period, whatever. But who is the best football team that has ever existed?
That's look past the Barca Pep team, isn't it? Like how many Champions Leagues did they win?
They won 2, was it? I don't think they won loads.
No, it wouldn't have been 2 because Pep's only won 3, and he's won 1 with Bayern.
It might have been 1 then, because he beat United to that.
Beat United to win 1, didn't he?
And then was there another one? Be 1 or 2, but
because the Pep's only won 3, and he won 1 with Bayern, I think. Did he win 1?
No,
Bayern?
he definitely won 1 with Bayern. He might have won 2 with them.
2 Barca then. He's won 1 with City, hasn't he? Yeah, I'd say Pep's Barca team.
Oh, they beat United twice, didn't they? Wembley and in Rome. They beat United twice in the final.
Oh, right.
So that would have been, They won 2 under
Guardiola.
So,
Guardiola's Barcelona team.
Yeah.
For the time I've been alive.
Yeah.
I can't talk about the Liverpool Shankly teams and stuff like that because I haven't. But for me, the Barca Pep team, just
Yeah, they changed the way football was played, and they were just so many homegrown players as well. So what made it even more special. Obviously,
like you say, they invented the tiki-taka. It's like you talk about Cruyff, the way Cruyff invented football, and Pep's invented tiki-taka sort of thing. It's like gegenpress under Klopp. You'd have these people come in, and the icons sort of things. Like that's why I always rave about Ronaldinho, because what did he call it? The flip-flop sort of thing? Where he did that. And people don't. Cruyff, we joked about in the break. I was saying about like football in the back, way back when. You look at football in the 50s, you think I could have got a game there, sort of thing. And the way everyone went mad for the Cruyff turn, you think I was doing that when I was 3. But people do these things, and they're iconic. And like, it's whether they, like, people, Cruyff turn wasn't the first Cruyff turn ever. He was just so good at it, sort of thing. Yeah, become a thing. Like, say, Ronaldinho with the flip-flops, they take that Barca tiki-taka team, and everyone's trying to go, he's got a thing where you got to win the ball back in 30 seconds and stuff like. It's all just, it becomes an iconic, and I think that's what that Barca team did. They were so good, they were a bit like, yeah, they took the ball and that, like, say, League 2 teams are trying to pass it out from the back, and it all come from the way he set up that Barca team, so. Like, people talk about saying, you know, everyone's copying Pep. He's got plays 4 centre-backs now. No one else is copying that. Yeah. But they're still copying the Barcelona fucking play it out from the back, tiki-taka, chase the ball down so you win it back in 30 seconds. Yeah. Yes,
it's got to be them. But I think that's fair enough. Right, well, that concludes our chat. Thank you very much. How do you want people to reach you, follow you?
At Rob Thomas Comedy on all social media, besides some TikTok, because I'm not a nonce.
Fair enough. Right, well, thank you very much. Thank you for talking about football. So I didn't realise it was going to be so traumatic.
It's all right. It wasn't too bad that you didn't really ask me like. It's when people like try and go in depth about tactics and stuff, and you're like,
it's just
fuck off, lad. You never played football. You haven't got a fucking clue.
That's it. It's just as a fan, yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks very much. We do really appreciate you coming in. We'll see you all next time on the Football Historian Podcast.